All right, today we're going to do lesson 166 together. How you guys holding up? Almost done. Here we go. So in number 1, we are going to divide each number by 10, 100, and 1000. So remember, when you divide a number, you're making it smaller. You're dividing it up. You're making it smaller. Okay? So therefore, in whole numbers, now down here we have some that are not fully whole numbers, but in a whole number, you have an understood decimal right here. That way they don't write, because you don't really have to have it. In fact, it's unnecessary. But let's just put it there so we know what we're doing. So if you're dividing by 10, you move the decimal over once. Dividing by 100, you move it over twice. Dividing by 1000, you move it over 3 times. So move it over once and you have 57.8. Move it over twice. Move it over 3 times. Okay? Let's run over here to that D. So if we move it over once to the left to divide by 10, it's now 17.38. Twice and 3 times. Let's get the 39.39 over here that already has the decimal all the way to the left. So what you have to do is you have to start adding a 0. That would be divided by 10. This is divided by 100 and divided by 1000. All right, number 2, this is just normal dividing. Number 3, we have to move the decimal over first. So let me do A with you. So, actually, I'll do C with you because that one's a little trickier. Only because you're moving this decimal over once. The decimal's already here in the dividend. So you move it over once. So you're actually adding. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the decimal point up here. I don't know if I'll need it or not, but at least it's there. I'm going to erase these and just put the decimal right here. Okay, all right, so 78. Actually, I'm going to erase this too. All right, 78 does not go into 22. We'll go into 226. I'm going to try 3 times because 7 times 3 is 21. Might be too big. Yeah, it's too big. So I'm going to have to go in 2 times. So 78 times, whoops, 2 at the end of the page here. I can't write past that point. It's 156. So 1, 5, 6, 0, 7. I'll bring down that 2. 7 into 70 would be 10 times, but that'd be way too big. Let's try 9, but that might still be too big. 2. Nope, it's going to be perfect. So 29. So the answer is 29. Okay? All right, divide these money problems correctly. To the right of the decimal point, divide 1 digit at a time. So, 125 divided by 25. How many 25s can I get out of 125? I believe I can get 5 of them, right? And that's 125. The only trick here is you got to bring up that decimal here and you have to fill in that spot there. So 125 divided by 25 is 5 cents. This one, you could do this just to kind of make your life easy. 4 into 6 once. Decimal goes here. 4 into 20, 5 times. And because it's money, we want to give it that extra. Okay? All right. In number 5, you're dividing and rounding to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to do B with you. Okay? So the decimal is here, right? All right. 48 does not go into 32. So it's going to go into 329. It would be 8 times, 4 times 8 would be 32. But 48 is almost 50. So I'm going to go down to, and this wouldn't 5 be my estimating number anyway? And 5 into 32 would be 6 times 30. So I'm going to do 48 times 6. Oh my goodness. Can't write and think at the same time. Write, think, and talk at the same time, I guess I should say. 48 times 6. $288. I'm just going to do 7 just to make sure. 28, 9, 31, 33. Yeah, that's too big. Barely, but it's too big. All right, so let's go in 6 times. Whoops. Put that 6 right there. We'll make a 288. We're going to round it to the nearest tenth, which means we'll take it out to the hundreds if we need to. Get 41. Now we're going to bring down a 0. Put that decimal there. 48 into 410. 50 into 40 would be 8 times, so let's try 8. $15, $25. Yep, that's as close as I'm going to get. Because this 384 to 400 would be 16. 16 plus 10 would be 26, which is smaller than 48. So 8 will work. Now I only have to get the top number. I don't have to totally finish it, because I just have to know what the next number is in order to round. All right. So I get 26. I'm going to add a 0. 6 is too big. Let's try 5. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to use a 5. So 5 rounds that 8 up to a 9. I can quick there because that's all I need. Okay, that's how that works. Let's go to the next page. See if I can change pages. There we go. Try the right lesson. All right, all this up top looks pretty easy. I'll do the look at the review with you. The Pep Club made 168 pints of ice cream to sell at the elementary field day. Each container they sold contains 3/4 pints of ice cream. If they sold each container for 75 cents, how much money they make. All right, so that's pretty easy. Okay, so first of all, we need to see how many containers they had, because they made 168 pints, but what they sell are slightly smaller than pints. So let's do 168, see how many they got, times the 3/4. No, divided by 3/4. I'm sorry. You're going to divide that 168 pints into 3/4 containers, 3/4 pint containers. And that, I'm just going to go ahead and erase that and flip it and change it to multiplication. Does 3 go into 168? Well, 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. That goes into 3. 15 goes into 3, so this should. 3 into 16 is 5 with 1 left over. 3 into 18 is 6. So now I have 56 times 4. 22. So they have 224 containers of ice cream. At this point, we know how many containers That's not it though. They want to know how much money they made. Each of those containers went for 75 cents. According to my calculations, they made $168. Let me see if I'm right. I am right. $168. Get all this out of my way. All right, let's try the next one. Mrs. Page bought a book of 44-cent stamps for $11. How many stamps were in each book? So the whole thing cost $11. Each one was 44 cents. So logic tells me if I take my $11 and divide it up by how much each one costs, I should know how many were in the book. Notice we have decimals though. This decimal right here has to be moved over twice. So this one goes to here. And I'm just going to put it up top. 44 will go into 110. I think just twice. And that would be 88. I get 22 as a remainder. Break down that. Oh, I'm sorry. 44 into 220. Well, how about, let's try times 5. That's a good possibility because 5 ends in a 0. Oh, guess what? How good is that? All right, so how many stamps were in the book? 25 of them. Oh, we have to write the word stamps. All right. You know, as I look down here in the X, my mind's going in different places. And number 10, I've not yet to see a problem where the X is on the bottom. I just feel like maybe that one that was so difficult way back. Remember that? You guys was that you guys or the 6th graders? I think it was you guys. I have a feeling that was an error. All right, mark under the numbers that are divisible by 3. So what's the rule for divisible by 3? You add up the digits. If they're divisible by 3, the whole number will be. So if I take 2 plus 7, 9, plus 1 is 10, plus 8 is 18. Well, 18 goes into 3. 5 plus 9 is 14. 14 plus 6 is 20. That does not go into 3. 1 and 1 and 1 is 3. 9 and 9, 18. That goes into 3. I have 15 over here and a 6 over here. 15 plus 6 is 21. Does 21 go into 3? Sure does. 3 times 7. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 goes into 3. 6, 13, 14, 15. Does 15 go into 3? Yep. 3 times 5. All right, this 5s are easy. How's it divisible by 5? Do you remember? Has to end in a 5 or a 0. That's easy. So no, yes, yes, no, no, yes, and no. I mean yes, sorry. All right, solving for x. I'll do an A and B with you. Why not? Right? All right, so it's 3 times x. So the opposite of times, because we want x by itself, is divide. So this is gone. I bet you did that in your head, but remember it's the steps that are important. 3 times 7 equals 21. 21 equals 21. All right, now for B, x divided by 3 equals 9. So if I times it by 3, I should get rid of it. So times this times 3. And I shouldn't have that. I should have a dot there or parentheses. And this is gone, so this is x. 9 times 3 is 27. So is 27 divided by 3 9? It sure is. All right, that's it for this lesson. Have a good day. I'll talk to you guys later.